"You're the most useless child we have," my mom said into the quiet buzz of Christmas dinner. Forks stopped. The tree lights hummed. She didn't say it like a joke. She said it like a verdict. I didn't yell. I stood, walked to the mantel, picked up the little HDMI remote the venue kept for slideshows, and changed the input on the big TV behind her. Then I answered back with a calm, boring slideshow titled, "Who Keeps This Family Running?" I'm Elena Brooks, 31, operations coordinator for a hospital network in Columbus, Ohio. I'm the girl who finds the missing spreadsheet tab before anyone notices it's missing. In families, that job becomes default organizer. You know, the one buys gifts for grandma from everyone, sets up the meal train when an aunt has surgery, remembers birthdays, prescriptions, and the one garage code nobody else knows because why would we need that? My family, Mom, Margaret, Dad, Dale, older brother, Caleb, 34, younger sister, Maddie, 26. We're Ohio potluck competent. Feelings underseasoned. Dad fixes things, Mom hosts. Caleb charms, Maddie posts. I moved out at 22 and somehow became the person who moved everyone else. It started small. Mom's catering Christmases scaled up over the years from one ham and a miracle to 30 relatives. Name cards, charcuterie that needs a map. I did behind-the-scenes pickup orders, assemble copy paper turkeys for the kids' table, defrost potatoes because Mom doesn't trust microwaves. During COVID, I built an Aunt Ruth check-in rotation when Grandma's sister broke her hip. No one else built it. They just said, "Thank God for Elena," and sent a thumbs up EMOJ. I dot in September. Our dad had a minor heart scare. He's fine. I took him to appointments, organized medications, set reminders in his phone because he treats phones like landlines. Mom cried to me in the pantry. I hugged her, made tea, and scheduled a cleaning service to come twice a month because you're doing too much. I covered the first 3 months. I didn't tell anyone. I just did it. When the family group chat asked, "What can we bring to Christmas?" I made a neat list. Caleb, drinks, ice, Maddie, pies, me, main dishes, and lentils. Mom texted me privately, "You're an angel." And then 2 days later, asked if I could spot Caleb $300 to order meat from a butcher because his card was being weird. I said no. It was the first time I'd said it in 10 years. "He can bring soda and ice," I wrote. "We're not doing butcher drama." She sent a thumbs down. I stayed up bright. Christmas Eve, we set up the rented room at the church fellowship hall because our house can't hold 30. I plugged in the slideshow family photos I'd made because I still show up. Christmas Day, 5 p.m. Everyone was plated and seated, the tree behind the head table glowing like it had paid its own. Electric bill. Mom topped her glass with a butter knife. "A word," she said, smiling to the room the way people smile when there's an audience to feed. She started with the usual. "We've been through so much this year. Family is everything. I am so proud of my kids." Then, with that little switch in her voice she uses when she's about to turn honest into pointed, she added, "Proud of all my kids. Well, except one who couldn't even be bothered to bring a ham." It landed like a dish dropped in a quiet kitchen. A few cousins half laughed the way you do when you're not sure is supposed to. Maddie stared at her lap. Caleb blinked. Like a man caught under a ceiling fan, I heard my therapist's voice. If someone writes your story in public, what would it look like to decline the role? My hand reached for the little black remote the venue keeps next to the candles. I pressed source. The slideshow of our baby photos disappeared. A white slide with black text appeared. "Who keeps this family running?" A calm, boring audit. I didn't plan to humiliate anyone. I planned for survival. 2 weeks earlier, after Mom's third, "Just pick up one more thing, Angel," I opened a Google Doc and started tallying. Not to show anyone. To show myself I wasn't crazy, 18 family events scheduled and set up by Elena in 202443. Doctor, dentist, therapy appointments scheduled. Dad 21, Aunt Ruth 9, Mom 3, Maddie 6, Caleb 4, 12 airport runs, Caleb 3, Maddie 5, Mom, Dad 4, cleaning service. For Mom, first 3 months, $420 Dad's medication co-pays when billing messed up, April. $186.72 rebated later to Dad. I filed it, catering business QuickBooks subscription when Mom's card declined, March, July. $157, 50 holiday rentals deposit, tables, chairs, warmers, $300 refunded today. Receipt attached, rides for Aunt Ruth's PT, 6, Elena 4, Carla 2, paperwork. For Dad's cardiology follow-up, insurance pre-auth, group chat, what to bring each holiday, Elena posts. No one reads, Elena sends one-to-one texts. Items appear, the side of the family who receives thank you notes. Elena writes because Mom says, no one cares about mail anymore, while caring about mail. Caleb, drinks and ice, $48 at Costco. Maddie. Pies, she brought 3 thank you. Everyone else, yourselves, me. Everything else, ordered, paid, picked up. Timesheet on next slide. Organizer, 11.5 hours, orders. Pickup, setup, breakdown. Cooking, assembly. 6 hours venue coordination. 2 hours total. 19.5 hours Caleb text. 12/20. Spot me $300 for butcher. Declined. Mom reply. 12/20. Please, baby. Declined. Why? Because we had a perfectly good ham at Kroger for $28, and also because spot turns into sponsored by Elena. I kept my voice even so no one could hook it and call it anger. For the record, I said, I didn't bring a ham. I brought everything else. A cousin near the back said, oh, the kind of, oh, that means math finally attacked the feelings. Mom's smile dropped its glitter. What are you doing? She said, voice trying to be low and landing on dangerous. Answering back, I said, still calm. To the sentence, you're the most useless child we have. She scoffed. It was a joke. It felt like a knife, I said. Jokes don't cut like that. Caleb stood up, cheeks in the color family of ham. You could have asked me for help, he said. No, I said. You could have read the chat and brought drinks without me texting you. A picture of a cart. Maddie whispered, I didn't know about the cleaning service. You weren't supposed to, Mom said, quick. She pointed at the screen. Turn that off. You're embarrassing me. Aunt Carla, who has been Switzerland and a half for 20 years, stood. Diane, she said, you embarrassed her. A hush fell. Snow tapped the high windows like it wanted in on this. I clicked to the last 2 slides I had added that morning with a courage I barely recognized as mine. Slide 7, new rules, effective January 1st. I am resigning as default family organizer. I'll host my own events. That's it. If you want me to manage an event, here's my rate. $25 hour family discount. You must say yes in writing 1 week before no more spot me requests. I will not send money through apps for family. Events. Bring what you said you'd bring or show up with nothing and accept store rules. Slide 8. What I need to keep coming to things, no insults, as jokes. If it happens, I leave contributions come with dates, not vibes. If you can't, say so. It's kinder than leaving me guessing mom. If you need help, ask in a text without angel or guilt. I'll say yes or no like an adult. I love this family, I said, finally letting my voice warm. I will not be its unpaid intern or punchline. Silence is a powerful thing. The room had it. The cousin kids stopped bouncing in their chairs. The old men who only speak football cleared their throats and stared at green beans like they were moral quandaries. Dad, who hates scenes but loves me in the way men from his generation love, by fixing brakes and showing up with a ladder, stood. Thanks, kiddo, he said simply. Point taken. He patted Mom's shoulder. She shrugged him off. Mom put the mic down. Dessert, she said to the air as if she could conjure a reset. It didn't come. We cut pies. People avoided me for exactly 5 minutes and then formed a gentle orbit. A cousin asked for my template for the Aunt Ruth schedule. Another handed me a napkin and said, "That was brave." The venue coordinator mouthed, "Thank you, because staff always knows who's been quietly making their shift harder." Or easier. After dinner, Caleb found me by the coffee urn and said, "I didn't know you were doing all that." "That's the point," I said. No one knows until the ham you didn't bring gets announced as proof you don't matter. He rubbed his jaw. "I'll handle drinks next time." "Without a spreadsheet, you'll see," Maddie cried. "I'm sorry," she said. "I keep thinking Elena will fix it. I can fix some things." "Start with pies in March for Dad's birthday," I said. "And if you can't afford something, say so. I'd rather bring extra than be mad later." Mom left early. No dramatic storm out, just a stiff coat and a clatter of bangles. Dad loaded his truck with rentals like a man falling back on a job he understands. My phone lit up at 11:23 p.m. with a text from Mom. "You ruined Christmas." I did not reply. At 11:47, "You embarrassed me." I set my phone on Do Not Disturb. The next morning, I made coffee and wrote the letter I would have sent in therapy. If we'd had more sessions, subject, "After last night, Mom, I won't accept being insulted in public." Going forward, if someone jokes at my expense, I will leave. I'm not the default coordinator. If you want my help, ask with details, timeline, and budget. I'll respond yes, no more, spot me requests. I won't finance family events. I love Dad. I'll keep taking him to appointments because I offered. If you need rides, we can make a paid schedule or rotate among siblings. I want us to be good. I won't pretend for a room. Elena, I cop at Dad. And Aunt Carla, not to triangulate, but because memories in our family bend around feelings. I saved a PDF in a folder called Boundaries 2025. An hour later, Dad texted, "Proud of you." Aunt Carla, finally. "Caleb, meeting me at Costco next holiday so I don't mess up." I replied, "You got it, but you pushed the cart." Mom stayed silent all day. Monday, she sent a 5-word text. I shouldn't have said that. It wasn't, "I'm sorry." It was the closest she's come to it without choking. I wrote back, "Thank you," and did not open a door to debate. Then I did something practical. I canceled the cleaning service auto-renew in my name and sent Mom the company's contact info. "If you want to keep them, it's $140 twice a month." I wrote, "They accept Zello." I didn't add "not mine." I also opened a new bank account called Elena's Holidays and, for the first time in years, set a budget for how much I would spend on extended family in a calendar year. It wasn't punitive. It was math. 3 weeks later, Dad had a follow-up. At cardiology, Mom rode along. In the exam room, while the nurse typed, Mom turned to me and said, "You make me feel like a bad mom." She said it like she was reading a diagnosis out loud, so she couldn't get it wrong. I took a breath because some sentences asked for two. "You're not a bad mom," I said. "You're a good hostess who sometimes uses jokes like knives." She blinked. "I want us to be okay," I added. "I won't take cuts. That's the price of okay." She nodded. Once the next holiday, Easter, came. The group chat asked what to bring. I waited. I did not post the list. Aunt Carla eventually did. Caleb put drinks on IT without prompting. Maddie replied pies, but not baked, and a laughing emoji, but then actually brought them. Mom said, I'll make ham, and did not comment on anyone else's ham dot at dinner. She took the mic for a prayer and then put it down without commentary. She didn't call me angel. She didn't call me useless. She said, thanks to everyone who helped, and looked around the room instead of at me. Progress reads as a plain sentence sometimes. I enjoyed my own plate warm for once. People hear this story and some think, petty. Maybe, but petty would have been a clapback designed to sting for an hour. What I did stung in the moment and then made space for different behavior. I still help. I brought flowers to Aunt Ruth when she finished PT and let her tell me the same story twice, because stories are how we live forever. I sat with Dad when he canceled a credit card that kept getting mysterious charges that were not mysterious. I replied, not today, when Mom tried to hint me into picking up a catering order. She hired a high schooler, paid her cash, and said she was great, like she'd invented delegation. Sometimes I still want to be the person who just fixes it. It's easier than negotiating who will. Then I remember how my chest felt when my mother called me useless in front of a room I fed. And I remember the click of the HDMI input, the white screen, the neat black letters, the silence you can live inside. The boundary held. If you ever find yourself at a table where someone uses tradition to make you smaller, know that you can be quieter and stronger at the same time. You can sit, stand, breathe, and show your work. You don't have to convince. The room you matter, but you can invite it to stop pretending you don't. When someone turns a holiday into a public cut, don't throw a bigger knife. Show the math. Set rules. Put them in writing. The cleanest revenge isn't a scream. It's a boundary that keeps your dignity and rewrites how the next dinner goes.